Stream. All righty. Hold on a second. Now. Nope. Nope. Try again. Hold on a second. No, it's not working right now. All right. One more try. This is important because this saves the class. If not, we'll just save in a different way. Too many apps open. Give me a second. I'm just trying to close all these apps. Should work better now. Nope. Okay. We're going to have to record in a different way. Oh, it's live. Okay, it was live. All right. Oh, it's live. Okay, it was live. All right. Oh, it's live. Okay. All right. Oh, it's live. Okay. That should do it. Anyway, oh my God. It should do it. Anyway, oh my God. It should do it. All right. I think I got the problem. Stop it. Okay. Let me just let me okay, one other thing. I should just record to the cloud too. All right. Sorry about the delay. All right, let's start. Sorry. Technical glitch. Shigo Charanapalma Kivala Bhakti Sadma Matan Muin Savatana Jakara Prasadivai Ekpavaturi Adhyaya Krishna Prabhu Guru Kapal Bhavakya Jichede Kori Akanya Aranakori Omanaya Shah Charan Herate Eseu Kamakate Yekasade Pure Sarva Asana Takudana Diloye Kanvejan Me Prabhu say Divegan Rireva Kasita Primavakti Vijavana Sahyate Nene Gaya Racharita Kauna Sindhu Adamajanada Bandhu Lokanath Lokira Jivana Prabhu Koradaya Demore Padachaya Evias Kuchutri Bhuvanda Evias Kuchutri Bhuvanda Prabhupada Pad Prabhupada Prabhupada Pad Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvatikacharya also Teta Satashi Shimad His Divine Grace Abhaya Chandranatha Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anandakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Saya Makunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Machuram Ki Jai Jagannatha Swami Ki Jai Murnamai Ki Jai Srimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Pradananda Hari Hari Bol. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the Shri Guru and Gauranga Shilpopad Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Budale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Samadi Janamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharne Devashesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Dejatarni. So, we're going to continue with our reading of the Sri Caitanya Bhagavat, dealing with the pastimes of Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So yesterday we heard the story about Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's father passing away. And then after that, we heard about the amazing anger of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, let me read the translation of this poem first. I'm getting ahead of myself. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. So, Om Gana Timidanda Shah Gananjana Shlakaya Chakshur and Meditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master's divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shilpa, who so kindly opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge while I was blinded in the darkness of ignorance. And then Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Okay. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda. So we're going to start again with the Caitanya Bhagavat. So as I was starting before with my description of what we read yesterday, Nimai Pandit's father, Jagannatha Mishra, passed away, and after that, Nimai started to exhibit the most extreme symptoms of anger that anyone in the three worlds has ever experienced. Don't you imitate. And by hearing about his anger, we can actually become purified of our own anger. So his anger was so extreme, incredibly extreme. And he was enjoying anger, just like sometimes we may try to enjoy anger, but our anger, when we try to enjoy it, gives us misery. And his anger is part of his, like, tasting rus. As one of the indirect ruses is the anger. There's other ones, fear, anger, things like that. So, anyway, so when he tastes rus at the highest extreme. Okay, rus means a taste. So then, what happened? All right, let me summarize the story. He asked his mother for sandalwood and a garland to worship the Ganges. And his mother said, I will bring. And he said, you will bring. No. He wanted it immediately, like a petulant child. And then what he did was that he basically destroyed everything in the house, tore the doors down, and windows, if there were windows at that time, whatever. He was destroying them. And ultimately he'd take a stick and beating on a tree, then beating on the ground, and then he went unconscious, or yoga nidra, it's described here. So this is where we're leaving off. Right after he gets up out of that yoga nidra, and his mother gives him the ingredients for worshiping the Ganges. He never touched his mother, don't worry. So his mother gives him the ingredients, Sachimata gives him the ingredients for worshiping the Ganges. And he goes to the Ganges, and Mother Sachi is somehow or other, she's just tolerating all this, as every mother should do with their children. Whew. Well, maybe not that much toleration. So let's share the screen and go on with our reading. Okay, here's the screen. So, hold on a secondito. We have to move these things around. A few things things around so we can see the screen. Okay. Great. And right. Give me 1 second. Wait. All right. So although the Lord destroyed so many things, Sachi did not feel any distress because he was there. That was so much love she had for him. Okay. Krishnara Chapalya Yena Shesha Prakare Yashoda Sahilena Gokula Nagare. She simply tolerated Gaura's mischief just as Mother Yashoda tolerated Krishna's unlimited mischief in Gokula. And I think Gaura's mischief was probably much more intense than Krishna's mischief. Hey Mata Gaurangera Yata Chanchalata Sahilena Nukshana Sachi Jagan Mata. In this way, Shachi, Mother of the Universe, constantly tolerated all of Gauranga's mischievous activities. Wow. That's love. Ishwarara Krida Janina Kahite Kateka Emata Chanchalata Karena Yateka. I am unable to describe the many other similar mischievous pastimes performed by the Lord. Oh my God, just imagine. Sakala Sahinai Kaya Vakyamane Hailena Shachiyena Prithiviya Pane. Mother Shachi tolerated them all with her body, mind, and speech as though she was Mother Earth herself. The phrase Yena Prithivi Apane indicates that Sachi became as tolerant as Mother Earth. So, okay, we can also take this as an indication that Krishna is going to test us to see how tolerant we are. Okay. And what does it mean? Tate nukampam shushamikshmana bunjanavatma kritam vipakam ridvag bapurvir vedadam namaste jiveta mukte pade siddhaya bhak. Which means if you are able to tolerate all the things, and actually not blame Krishna, just think it's due to my past sinful activities, then, and go on serving Krishna, not just tolerating, and then serving Krishna with your body, mind, and words enthusiastically, then you're a fit recipient for pure devotional service. After some time, Nimai, the supreme enjoyer of various pastimes, returned home after taking bath in the Ganges. Vishnu Puja Kari Tulasira Jaladiya Bhojana Katite Prabhu Pasilena Giya. The Lord then worshipped Vishnu, offered water to Tulasi, and sat down for his meal. Bhojana Kariya Prabhu Hailak Hashamana Achamana Kari Karena Tambula Charvana. Fully satisfied after his meal, the Lord washed his hands and then chewed some betel nut. Dire, aitabe balite lagila, eta apachaya baba, ki kariye karila. Thereafter Mother Shachi softly asked him, "My dear son, why have you destroyed so many things?" She's just cautious. She doesn't want to trigger him again. Gara dwara dravya yata Sakale Tamara, Apachaya Tamara Se, Kidaya Amara. The house and its door belongs to you. Destroying them is your loss. It is not my concern. The word daya means profit or loss, connection, relation, necessity, or responsibility. It also means inheritance. Padibari tumibola ikani yaiba, garite sambala nahi kaliki kaiba. You say that you will go to school now, but I have nothing left at home. What will you eat tomorrow? In other words, he destroyed all the boga at home. The word sambala comes from the Sanskrit word sam, which means requirement or livelihood. Hase Prabhu Jananira Shunya Vachana Prabhu Bole Krishna Poshta Karibe Poshana. The Lord smiled and said, Krishna is the maintainer of everyone. He will maintain us. The word Poshta means the maintainer. Etavale Pushtaka Laya Prabhu Kare Saraswati Pati Chalilena Padibare. Saying this, the Lord, who is the husband of the goddess of learning, took his books and went off to school. The word Saraswati Pati refers to Sri Krishna, the husband of spiritual knowledge, or Saraswati. Hatakshana Vidyagrasa Kari Kutu Hale Janavira Kule Alina Sanja Kale. After happily enjoying his studies, the Lord went to the Ganges in the evening. Katakshana Taki Prabhu Janavira Tire Tabipuna Ailena Apana Mandire. He passed some time on the bank of the Ganges and then returned to his home. Jananire Dakadia Anina Nipirte Divya Swarna Tula Dui Dila Dila Dhana Hate. The Lord then called his mother to a secluded place and gave her 20 grams of gold. That's a lot of gold. The word Nipirte refers to a secluded or private place. Dekamata Krishna e Dilena Sambala Iha Bhangya Vyaya Karaha Sakala. Dear mother, see what Krishna has given. Please get it exchanged for our necessities. So Krishna, or Lord Chaitanya, manifested money, gold, so that Sachi would have everything she needed to serve Krishna. The word Bhangaya means to accept some items or smaller change in exchange. The word Karaha means to arrange or to carry out. Etabale Mahaprabhu Chalila Shayane Padama Vismitahai Aimane Gane. Thereafter the Lord went to bed while the astonished Sachi Devi considered. Kota Haite Suvarna Anaye Bare Bara Pache Kona Pramada Janmasha Asi Ara. From where does he bring this gold so often? I'm afraid that later on some problem might arise. The word pramada means danger or harmful. So she's maybe thinking he's stealing the money or something like that. So he destroys the house, then pays for it, and then goes back and destroys the house, and then pays for it. So it's something that occurred again and again and again. E matra sambala sankocha hayagare say mata sona ane bare bare. Whenever there's a shortage of necessities at home, he has brought gold. So this is something that happened again and again. The phrase sambala sankocha refers to a lack of resources. Kibadara kari kiba kon siri jane kon rupe kara sona ane va ke mane. Does he borrow it or does he know some mystic power? Otherwise, whose gold is it? And how does he get it? So dara means to borrow. The word siddhi is found in the Srimad Bhagavatam among the 8 primary mystic perfections. The 3 by which one transforms his own body are lagima. All right, so we're going to skip over this. So she's thinking he has some mystic power. Maha akaitava ai paramaudara. Vangaite Dideo Daraya Bara. The supremely honest and magnanimous Sachi became fearful of getting gold exchanged so often. Every day she's coming with gold to the market. I mean, where's this lady getting her gold? The word Maha Akaitava means devoid of duplicity, devoid of cheating, or most simple. The word Daraya comes from the Hindi word Dharna, which means to be afraid. Dashashani Panchatani Tikaya Ge Lokera Shikaya Bangai Vitabe. Sachi would have the gold checked by 5 or 10 people before getting it in exchange. That's intelligent. Henamate Mahaprabhu Sarva Siddhishvara Gupta Bhave Ache Navadvipara Bitara. In this way, the Supreme Lord of all mystic powers secretly resided in Navadvip. The word Sarva Siddhishvara refers to the master of 8 yogic perfections. In this regard, one may refer to Srimad Bhagavatam 11:15:10-17. Na chadena Sri Hasta Pushtaka Ekshana Padena Goshti Tayena Pratyaksha Madana. He did not leave aside his books for even a moment, and as he studied with his classmates, he looked just like Cupid. Lalate Shobaye Urva Tilaka Sundara Shri Sri Chanchara Kesha Sarva Manohara. His forehead was decorated with tilak, and the curly hair on his head stole the minds of all. Skande Upavita Brahmateja Murti Manta Hashamaya Shrimukha Prasanna Divya Danta. With a Brahmin thread hanging on his shoulder, he appeared to be the personification of Brahminical effulgence. His beautiful smiling face was most pleasing, and his teeth were divine. Kivase Adbhuta Dvi Kamala Nayana Kivase Adbhuta Shobe Trikachavasana. How wonderful were his 2 lotus eyes, and how wonderful was the way he wore his dhoti. The word trikacha refers to a style in which the elder Bengalis wear their dhotis. When the left end of the dhoti is taken between the legs and tucked in at the back, it is called a kacha. When the other end is tucked in at the navel, it is called a concha. When the other end of this concha is also tucked in at the navel, it is called a trikacha. So it like makes a loop there or something like that. I've seen that. We never dress like that, but sometimes people, householders who are very fancy, they dress like that. Ye deke se ekadrishye rupachaya hena nahi danya danya bali ye na ya. Whoever saw him could not remove their gaze from his form, and no one could refrain from complimenting his extraordinary beauty. The word ekadrishye means without diversion, without blinking, or without closing the eyes. Hena se adbhuta vyaktya karena takura shunya guru rahaya santosha prachura. While studying, Nimai gave such nice explanations that his teacher was greatly satisfied with him. Sakala paduya madhye apate dharya vasayena guru sarva pradana kariya. Indeed, the teacher recognized Nimai as the foremost of all of his students. Guru bole Bapa tumi mana dia pada, Bhattacharya haiba tumi, balilana da da. The teacher said, "Dear child, you must study attentively, then you will soon be known as a Bhattacharya." So a Brahmin is eligible for the title of Bhattacharya if he has thoroughly studied and become expert in logic and mimamsa. That's a particular branch of philosophy. Mimamsa means to think very deeply. That's what the word means. Like, there's Karma Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa. I'm not going to get into that right now. If he has completely memorized one of the 4 Vedas, or if he has a learned teacher who's expert in philosophy, Prabhu Bole, Tumi Ashirvada Karayare, Bhattacharya Pada Kondurlabha Tahare. The Lord replied, "It's not difficult for anyone you bless to become a Bhattacharya." Like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Yahare ye digyasena Sri Gora Sundara Hena Nahi Paduya ye dikpeka uttara. Whenever Sri Gaurasunda asked the question, none of the students were able to answer. Apani karina tabi sutrera stapana sheshe apanara vyakya karena kandana. He would himself establish the explanation, and the next moment he would refute it. One should know that the controller of Maya, Lord Vishnu, has the ability to do, undo, and redo anything. Keha yarikonamate napare stapite tabise vakya prabhu karena surite. If someone was unable to establish the point, the Lord would give the proper explanation. The word surite means properly or nicely. Kiba snane, ki bhojane, kiba paryatane, nahika prabhura ara chesta shastra vinay. While bathing, eating, or traveling, the Lord had no engagement other than studying the scriptures. Emata chena takura vijorase prakashana kare jagatera dina doshe. While the Lord enjoyed his pastimes as a student, he did not disclose himself due to the fallen condition of the world. Okay, we can read this purport. The phrase dina doshe refers to persons of this world who possess material knowledge and are averse to Lord Vishnu, who is beyond material sense perception. Since they cannot accept the superiority of spiritual knowledge by which one's inclination toward Vishnu is awakened, they are called dina, or poor. Tridandi Goswami Prabhupada Saraswati has written in his Chaitanya Charitamrita as follows: Lord Chaitanya Chandra has expanded a golden ocean of devotional mellows. The most unfortunate person who is untouched by this ocean is certainly cheated for ages together. Wow. Hari Bhakti Shunya Haila Sakala Sangsara Satsanga Satpata Vainahyara. At that time, the entire world was devoid of devotional service to the Lord, and people were engaged simply in materialistic association and activities. All inferior mundane association processes that have no relationship with the absolute truth, Vishnu, the controller of Maya, are simply materialistic association activities. In other words, if it's not for Krishna, it's material. Well, Krishna's devotees are propagating Krishna consciousness like that. But somehow are they connected to Krishna. Nana rupe putra dira ahotsava kare deha geha vyatikirikta adanahi spure. People held various grand festivals for their sons and daughters, and they had no care for anything other than their body and home. And you see this, actually. I'll talk a little bit about this before, see if we're going to read the commentary. You see this, people hold these gigantic marriages, and they go into debt for, oh my God, for 30 years. You know, I've seen people who are 50 years, 60 years old go into debt for 30 more years. God knows if they'll survive to pay off the debt. And then their children have to pay off the debt, just so they get one day marriage. So that, why? Prestige. That's right. Simply prestige. You know, if they want blessings, they can just come to me. I'll give them blessings for free. Foolish materialists of that time were maddened with fruitive activities and simply engaged in satisfying their wives and children. Furthermore, let's see how big. Oh, yes, we can do this one. Furthermore, fruitive workers are persons who were expert in pious activities who licked the feet of people like Bhima Bhatta, simply engaged their bodies and minds in opening hospitals and schools of mundane knowledge on the pretext of compassion for the purpose of sense gratification in their future life. In other words, they'll do these pious activities to accumulate good karma. That's called karma kanja. And they're thinking, this will actually assure me a good future. I'm going to get everything I want. I'll go to heaven. Such people were under the control of selfish motives and thus highly averse to serving Krishna without reward. So really, that's the difference. You serve Krishna without even the expectation of going back to Godhead. Whew. No reward. The only reward you get, as Krishna spoke to the gopis, is your own love for Krishna will be your reward. That is the highest reward. Even if you stay in the material world, that's the highest reward. The taste, the rasa of bhakti, of prema, that is the highest. And for that, one should be willing to stay in the material world forever, to do anything Krishna wants, just to have that taste, even one moment's taste. The Smriti Shastras are not meant to educate or uplift the consciousness of such people, you know, the ritualistic Shastra books. These people are all ignorant fools. Service to the Lord Hari is the highest duty for all people at all times. Due to forgetting the supreme truth, these people develop desires for material enjoyment based on mundane welfare activities. Mitya suke deki saralokera dara Vaishna Vaishnavera gana sukha bhavena antara. The Vaishnavas were all distressed at heart to see the people's attachment to illusory happiness. Krishna Bali Sarvagane Karena Kandana Esava Jivere Kripa Kara Narayana. They all cried, "Oh Krishna! Oh Lord! Please be merciful on these fallen souls." Hena Deha Paya Krishna Nahi Hailaurati Kataka Kala Giara Punjive Durgati. These people have not developed attachment for Krishna after attaining this human form of life. How long will they suffer such degradation? Ye narasiviralagi deve kamya kare daha vyarta yaya mitya sukera vihare. Their human form of life, which is desired even by the demigods, is being wasted in the pursuit of false happiness. So I think we're going to skip through this. It just points out the benefit of being born in the land of Bharta Varsha. So Krishna Yatra Mahotsava Parva Nahi Kare Vivahari Karame Sayananda Kari Mare. They don't celebrate Krishna's appearance day, but they spend their entire lives celebrating weddings and other family festivals. Yeah, all those family festivals. It's like a dark hole. It's just like, you got a dark hole in space. It's like unlimited gravity to it because it collapses. A star, a star collapses and you got unlimited gravity and it pulls everything into it. And once you cross something called the horizon, you can't come back. Wow, that's very interesting metaphor right there. Huh. And even time and space become eaten up in that dark hole. The word yatra is explained by Sridhar Swami in his commentary of the words. Whoops. We're going to skip this. Let's go on to the next verse. There's a lot of stuff about family life and everything like that. We don't want to upset anyone. Tomara se jiva prabhu, tumi se rakshita, ki baliba mara tumi se sarvapita. O Lord, the living entities are your parts and parcels, and you are their protector and supreme father. And these words, Tomara se jiva, are explained as follows. Lord Vishnu is the supreme consciousness and the supreme controller or supersoul, and the living entities are all controlled by him and possess minute consciousness. Therefore, they are constitutionally Vaishnavas or subordinate to him. Constitutionally. In other words, that's our original position. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.7, Mami Vangsa Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. That means, he gives the translation here. The living entities in this conditional world are by eternal parts. And actually, probably translates as parts and parcels. Hey Mata Bhakta Gana Sabara Kushala Chintena Gayena Krishna Chandrera Bangala. In this way, the devotees always desire the welfare of the living entities, and they pray to Lord Krishna on their behalf. Now, not only desire, but they make plans. For example, just like we recently had a Rath Yatra, and I wanted to test out what it was like if we had like a kirtan truck and back of the Rath Yatra, and it was ecstatic, and so many people became absorbed, so many people became attracted, so many people heard the holy names. So now we're making plans. So Prabhupada said, a devotee, a real devotee, should always be making plans how to bring more and more people to Krishna consciousness. Sri Krishna Caitanya Nityananda Chanda Jana Vrindavana Dasa Tachu Pada Yuge Gana. So obviously this is the end of the chapter. Accepting Sri Caitanya Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Thus ends the English translation of the Gaudiya Bhasha. That means the Gaudiya commentary of Sri Caitanya Bhagavat, chapter 8, entitled The Disappearance of Jagannatha Mishra. Wow. Chapter 9. Wow. I can't wait. Nityananda's childhood pastimes and travels to holy places. Wow. Such nectar. I don't even deserve to hear this nectar. I'm just going to go, we're going to skip over the chapter summary because we don't want to give away what's going to happen in this chapter. And then we will start. Wow. We're going to hear about Lord Nityananda now. Ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi. Oh, my dear Lord Nityananda, you are very happy. Pera, but ami baro duki. I am most unhappy. Rakuranga charanera pasha. So please put me on the corner of your lotus feet. This is how we should pray. Lord Nityananda is the original guru. That's right. He's Balaram, not different than Balaram, so he's the original guru. And we are going to have the blessing to hear about his appearance pastimes now. I'm so ecstatic I can hardly continue. Okay, so Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Krishna Chaitanya, Kripa Sindhu, Jaya Jaya Nityananda, Agathira Bandhu, all glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is an ocean of mercy, all glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is the friend of those who are ignorant of the goal of life. He's our friend. Jaya Dvaita Chandrera Jivanadana Prana Jaya Srinivasa Garadera Nidhana. All glories to him who is the life, wealth, and soul of Sri Advaita Chandra. All glories to him who is the shelter of Shivas and Gadadhar. Jaya Jagannatha Shachi Putra Vishwambara. Jaya Jaya Bhakta Vrinda Priyanuchara. All glories to Lord Vishwambara, the son of Sachi and Jagannath. Wow. And this is too ecstatic for me. All glories to the devotees who are the beloved associates of the Lord. Purve Prabhu Sri Ananta Caitanya Agdaya Radhe Avatirna Hai Achena Lilaya. On the order of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Ananta Deva had already appeared in Radhadesh and was engaged in various pastimes. So Sri Ananta Deva, that means Lord Nityananda. In this connection, one should refer to the Adi Kanda, chapter 2, verses 31, 38, 40, and 228 to 230. The word Lilaya means by manifesting his own eternal transcendental pastimes in this material world. In other words, by his own sweet will. Hadu Oja Nami Pita Mata Padmavati Ekachaka Name Grama Godadishvara Yati. His father's name, this is Lord Nityananda's father, was Hadai Odhya, and his mother was Padmavati. Sri Nityananda Prabhu appeared in the village of Ekachakra as the Lord of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The surname Udha is a corruption of the name Upadhyaya, which is used by the Matila Brahmanas. For descriptions of Hadai Pandit and Padmavati, one may refer to Adi Kanda chapter 2, verse 39. For description of Ekachakra, one may refer to Adi Kanda chapter 2, verse 38. The word Gaudeshvara refers to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is the Lord and Master of the Gaudiyas. Sri Nityananda Prabhu destroys the living entities, anarthas, or unwanted things, and awards to the Gaudiyas the supreme destination of service in the pure transcendental rasa of Vatsalya, Sakya, and Dasha. So you may say, well, what happened to Madhurya? Well, first you approach Lord Nityananda to understand Dasha, and then you approach Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Well, actually you approach Caitanya Mahaprabhu, you come to the ecstatic platform, but to understand Madhurya, you have to approach the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, which is really important. So this is the whole progress. First, we approach the Guru, and then Lord Nityananda. Then, well, it's not that we kick the Guru aside after that, but this is the progress that we should make. We connect with the Guru gives us Lord Nityananda, and the Guru and Lord Nityananda give us Lord Chaitanya, we come to the ecstatic platform, and then when we're ready to understand Radha and Krishna, then we have to approach the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. Without approaching the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, you're not going to understand Radha and Krishna. There's no way. The word Yati refers to Maureshwara Yati, the village of Maureshwara. Maureshwara was a famous trade center for silk cocoons and silk thread. In some person's opinion, in this place was famous for its Shivalanga. Another reading for the word Yati is Tati, which is derived from the word Tata, or Tataya, meaning there, and is commonly used in ancient Bengali prose. Shishu Haite Shustira Subudi Gunavan Ajinina Kandavakoti Lavanyera Dama. From his childhood, Lord Nityananda was sober, intelligent, and the abode of good qualities. His charming loveliness defeated that of millions of cupids. Oh, this is really interesting. I just thought of something really interesting. That Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's childhood, he was not sober because he was intelligent, had all good qualities, but he definitely was not sober, as we just heard. And then Lord Nityananda's childhood, he was very sober. So when they got older, listen to this. Lord Nityananda was very restless. He was the Abhaduta, which means like the wind. He got older, and Lord Chaitanya became sober. So they sort of switched moods. Anyway, there's so many stories about Lord Nityananda when he was older. I mean, when he started associating with Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he became very sober. Say Haite Radhe Haila Sarva Sumangala Durabhiksha Daridraya Dosha Kandila Sakala. The entire district of Radhadesh was filled with auspiciousness and devoid of famine and poverty from the time of his birth. So once you refer to the Adikanda, chapter 2, verse 133, and Adikanda, chapter 4, verses 47 to 48. On the appearance of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the absence of kirtan and destitution in the form of materialistic pride were destroyed, and the chanting of Krishna's holy names and the propensity for his service were awakened in the hearts of people. Wow. We should just take shelter under Lord Nityananda's feet. Lord Nityananda is preaching. Wow. Ye dine janmila navadvipe gorachandra radhe taki hunkara karila Nityananda. The day that Lord Gaurachandra appeared in Navadvip in Radhadesh, Lord Nityananda roared loudly because he was much older than Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ananda Brahmananda Vyapta Hailak Hunkare Murchagata Haila Yena Sakala Samsare. His roar spread throughout the innumerable universes, and people of the entire world were practically rendered unconscious. Katoloka Balileka Haila Vajrapata Katoloka Manileka Parama Utpata. Some people said it was a thunderbolt, or others thought it was a great calamity. He was rejoicing upon Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. Katoloka Balileka Janilun Karana Godadeshvara Goshanira Haila Garjana. Other people said, we know the cause. It was the loud roaring of Nityananda Goswami, the Lord of the Gaudiyas. The word Godeshvara Goshani is explained as follows. Damodar Swarupa, Mahaprabhu's Dvitiya Swarupa, or second form, along with his two friends, Rupa and Sanatan, were the proprietors of service to Krishna in the conjugal ras. Wow. They were also Gaudeshvara or Gaudeshvara. That is why Sri Nityananda Prabhu has been properly addressed as Gaudeshvara Goswami, the Lord of the Gauda province. Too ecstatic, we're going to have to end in a second. Emata Sarva Lokanana Kata Gaya Nityananda Keha Nahi Chinnila Maya. In this way, people had different opinions about what had happened, but no one could recognize Lord Nityananda due to the influence of his illusory energy. Let's see how long this purport is. Ooh, it's pretty long. No. So let's just read that, and that'll be it for today. We'll take questions. All right. The word Maya refers to the influence of the illusory external energy of Nityananda Prabhu, who is non-different from Shiva Baladev, the source of all Vishnu expansions, that bewilders the marginal living entities. Those who are under the control of the covering and throwing propensities of Lord Vishnu's illusory energy cannot understand the truth regarding Sri Nityananda. Some illusion living entities say that Sri Nityananda Prabhu was a Maitila Brahmana. Some say that he married into the house of Bengali Radha Brahmanas, and others say that he was born in a low-class family. But such deceptive propositions created by Maya, the truth regarding Sri Nityananda, are not understood. Moreover, others who are controlled by material intelligence also say that the seminal descendants of Nityananda Prabhu's son Virachandra are as powerful as Sri Nityananda, and therefore on the basis of their seminal birth, they are on the same level as the Supreme Lord. So this is an illusion. They're not. It's called the Nityananda Vamsa, which Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur preached against. If this were a fact, then why did this line come under the control of materialistic fruit of the smartest who are engaged in enjoying the fruits of temporary activities? Yet others say that the three sons of Virabhadra, that's Lord Nityananda's son, were simply his disciples because their sons were born in the villages of Barudighain and Bhattavyaligain, and therefore, by worldly consideration, they cannot be considered seminal sons of Virabhadra. Persons with material conceptions, being covered and thrown by the illusory external energy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, endeavor to establish a mundane relationship with him. Such people try to include and count Nityananda Prabhu among the conditioned living entities and thus invite severe offenses. This is Sri Nityananda Baladev's mysterious pastime of deceiving the demons. It's really important because even Krishna's own sons, not all of them were actually good. In fact, Krishna had to kill one of his own sons, so it doesn't mean anything that you're the son or the grandson or great-grandson. Even Advaitacharya, he rejected 3 of his sons. 3 he actually completely rejected. So anyway, with that in mind, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. We're going to stop sharing because I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to ask some cuestionitos. Okay, let me unmute you all you lucky souls, so you can ask some questions. All right. Okay. Whoops. Let me pull out. Okay. So raise your hand or type in the chat window if you like.
Hare Krishna,
Okay,
Gurudev,
Rakesh. Yes. What's your question, Rakesh? It better be about this class.
Yes, very much related. When we do like Tulsi Puja and we go around Tulsi Ma, what is the like use of doing parikrama of Tulsi Ma, and what should be our bhava when we do that?
Well, the song, we're praying for her mercy to become a servant of Krishna and a servant of Krishna's devotees. Tulsi is serving Krishna's devotees. She's serving Srimati Radharani, and she's serving Krishna, and she's at Krishna's lotus feet, so we should pray to be at Krishna's lotus feet too. All right? I know the prayer to Tulsi is actually very high. One is praying to become a maidservant, etc., like that. So that may not be applicable to everybody, but at least we can appreciate that we should be a servant of 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 the Lord who maintains the gopis in Vrindavan. Okay?
Thank you, Gurudev.
Thank you. All right. Who else has a question here? Hare Krishna Gurudev. Please am I amazing. Goddess Saraswati, wife of Lord, or God, Saraswati, there's 2 Saraswatis, okay? So she's asking the question whether Saraswati is the wife of Lord Brahma or Lord Vishnu. The expansion of the wife of Lord Vishnu, who is called Saraswati, the goddess of learning, is the wife of Lord Brahma. Expansion. expansion. Whether it's empowered expansion or Shakti, that's not really mentioned. But so that's the wife of Lord Brahma, who is the goddess of learning in this world. So both Saraswatis are married to their respective husbands. Okay, good question. So, who else has a question here? You can type in the chat window or unmute yourself if you are so bold. Such an amazing pastime. I can't wait to read the rest of it tomorrow. I wish we had thousands and thousands of tongues and ears to hear all these pastimes and do everything else that I'm supposed to do for Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so we'll give everybody a few seconds. Any questions or comments or problems? You can type or you can raise your hand or unmute yourself. Okay. Going once. A lot of people listening to this is very nice. Okay. Yeah, or here's another question. Nimai's anger might cause doubt or how to understand. Well, I mean, Krishna does a lot of things that could cause doubt in the rascals. We look at Krishna dancing with all these girls and other people's wives in the middle of the night. That causes doubts. Look at Krishna pinching babies. I mean, you got all these things that could cause doubt. How can God be doing these things? One may be thinking God should just behave himself and sit there on his throne all day long. He'd probably get hemorrhoids if he had to sit on the throne all day long. So, sorry for that joke. So, the point is that God is the enjoyer. And all no, Radhadesh is not Bangladesh. Radhadesh is not Bangladesh. It's a place where the Ganges doesn't flow. Anyway, that's where Lord Nityananda appeared. So anyway, anyway, going back to the point. So Krishna is the enjoyer, and so the question is, we get angry because we're frustrated because we don't get enjoyment. That's hard to understand. But Krishna has internal reasons why he does things. And you have to really try to understand Krishna's internal reasons. I mean, it is, a lot of things are unbelievable. How did God create, I mean, practically a lot, Lord Vishnu glancing at the material pradhana and impregnating all of us into it. A lot of things are inconceivable. So one has to have that faith. But if you understand philosophically why Nimai did this, and his mother's response, he's trying to just stir up really intense emotions in his mother. And this is part of life. Life means to feel intense emotions. What's the use of a blah life? Okay, Gopal, you're the final one. Questions?
So we hear that nothing can exist if it doesn't exist in Krishna. So
That's
if
right.
we feel frustration, then doesn't Krishna also have some version of frustration? And how is that?
That's right. That's right. He's
for him?
frustrated with you.
Fair.
Because he's been waiting for such a long time. But that frustration is not that he hates someone. Sometimes I get frustrated with the way my computer works or something, and I get angry with it. But that frustration is out of love. Krishna's thinking, when is Gopal going to turn back to me? All right?
Thank you, Gurudev.
I hope he didn't give you a heart attack.
I'd have to have a heart for that.
I mean, that applies to everyone. I just don't want to be heavy with him. I get accused of being like Lord Chaitanya. Anyway, so All of us. Krishna's frustrated with all of us. You know, he's been waiting. That's pointed out in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, how Krishna was just frustrated, wondering, hoping that Gopakumar would come back to him. Okay, on that happy note, it is time to end. Thank you very much. All glories to